OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the NXT review with Outcasted OC. I am Reese as always, and we're going to get into a very match-heavy NXT this week, which is always nice to see because usually it's just filled with a lot of backstage segments. You know, some of them really good, some of them not so good. But before we start the video, I just want to say, if you like what the content that the channel is producing lately, make sure you hit the subscribe button and to hit the thumbs up to let us know that you are feeling the content. Now let's just get straight into it because we've got a really good match to start off. Announced last week, Jada Parker challenging Mia Yim, or Mi Chim, or whatever you want to call her. I'll just call her Mia Yim, to a street fight, and this match delivered. It was so good. You've got a situation here where Mia Yim is absolutely selling her heart out for Jada Parker. She's doing absolutely amazing work here. There's a segment here where they have a load of chairs set up on the outside, you know, like literally unfolded chairs, and Jada Parker is sat back on the chair. She has been set up by Mia Yim. Mia Yim gets into the ring, goes for a tope. Jada gets out of the way, and Mia just slams straight into the chairs. It looks absolutely brutal. She rolls away, sits next to the barricade like she's all passed out. Jada goes for the is it called the hypnotizer, or her finisher, basically, onto the barricade. Mia gets out the way, and Jada just slams straight into the barricade, and it does not look good, I'll tell you that much. Later on in the match, there's a point where, oh god, it looks kind of brutal, to be honest. There's a load of chairs in the ring. There's a point where I believe it's Mia gets a load of nuts and bolts, puts it on top of the chair, tries to powerbomb Jada into the nuts and bolts, but Jada counters, backdrop for Mia Yim straight onto all of that horrible stuff. I don't know how else to describe it, to be honest with you. Kendo sticks galore, trash cans galore in this match, just weapons after weapons. Really brutal for a TV show. For a TV match, should I say. Really nice to see these two women just putting all the effort for it. This match comes to a close where Jada once again goes for a finishing move against the barricade. She slams Mia through the barricade and then gets her back in the ring and hits her finisher again for the 1, 2, 3. Jada Parker comes out with the victory. Now, is this over between the OC and the OTM? No, it doesn't look like it, because later on in the night, we see the OC just battering a few tag teams backstage, and the OC calling out OTM saying, you know, show yourselves next week. We're going to continue. Lucian, Bronco, this is not over between the OC and OTM. I'm looking forward to that feud. I kind of want to see the OTM go over because obviously, you know, you've got a new fresh tag team there. I feel like it's more than overdue that faction gets a nice little push. So I'll be interested to see what happens in the next couple of weeks between those two factions. Moving on. We now go backstage to where Ariana Grace is sat on the bench in the locker room, just like kind of sighing to herself, trying to get Carmen Petrovic's attention. Carmen eventually turns around and goes, right, I'll bite it. What's wrong? Ariana says, you know, I got my soul snatched last week, and I'm not going to be in Toronto. As you know, I'm a Canadian. I'm not going to be at HEATWAVE, all thanks to Sol Ruka, and the people were waiting for me, and they're not going to be able to see me. Carmen says, okay, you know, I understand. I know how you feel. I'm from Canada too. And Ariana goes, whoa, hang on. You're not as Canadian as me. You don't know how I feel. And before Carmen has anything to say about that, Jasmine and JC come into the locker room and, you know, start some shit, basically. And they say, listen, I don't know who to feel sorry for, you know, the loser or the crybaby. Carmen Petrovic has a problem with this and says, listen, I already proved myself last week that I belong here. I want to do it again to you two. Let's settle it in the ring tonight. JC Jane, you know, kind of laughs it off, but we do get a match later on tonight between Jasmine and Carmen Petrovic. We'll get to that in just a little while. Next, we've got a tag team match. The New Catch Republic of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate taking on Tank Ledger and Hank Walker. Now, this is a match that was announced last week because they both agreed, you know, they was going to face each other, but I wasn't really looking forward to this. I'm not going to lie, wasn't really bothered, didn't really see any need in this match happening, but let me tell you, I actually enjoyed this match. Hank and Tank really pulled the weight. They looked like they belonged in that ring with the NCR, which I was very surprised about. Obviously, you got those two people in there that are very green. But I suppose when it comes to Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, they are absolute ring generals. So they put them in there with the perfect people. Really, really cool. Hank Walker is a very good hot tag. And Tank Ledger is just a powerhouse, former football player, looks really, really good in there. There's a moment where you know that WWE try to push that Hank and Tank are getting better at tag team continuity, where Pete Dunne gets, I believe it's Hank into an arm breaker. Hank picks him up just through sheer power and then walks to the back of his corner to make the tag. That's really good tag team work there. Gets his partner in, gets him out of danger. But it's not to be, unfortunately. Even though Hank and Tank get all of the moves out here, all of the, even the high flying stuff out, like they both hit a crossbody onto Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. It's not to be. The experience comes to the NCR and they get the 1, 2, 3. But like I said, nothing against Hank and Tank here. I thought they had a really good showing, to be quite honest with you. I expect more of this in the future for this tag team, in that case. If they can do this on a regular basis, I'll be very happy to see more of it, 100%. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of that match. I'm interested to see what you guys actually think of Hank and Tank in general. Like I say, you know, they're a bit of a green tag team, but they're doing okay. We now go backstage to where Aura Mensa has some good news and some bad news from Stevie Turner and Robert Stone. Robert Stone is eager to give him the good news, and the good news is that he's going to be having a match tonight with Miles Bourne. They both don't want to give him the bad news. Obviously, these two are just arguing because they both want to be Ava's favourite assistant, I suppose. I'm really not invested in what the hell's going on here. Please bring back Von Wagner for Robert Stone, please. I beg you. Like, why did you release him? It's horrible to see what he's going through right now. Anyway, the bad news is, because what's been going on with him and Ethan Page over the past couple of weeks, he is banned from HEATWAVE. So, Aura Mensa, apparently he's not going to be at HEATWAVE. I don't see that being stuck to be honest. I have a feeling that we're probably going to be seeing Aura Mensa in some type of way at NXT HEATWAVE. I doubt he's going to be able to keep his hands off Ethan Page for very long. But he's happy that he's got a match tonight. Speaking of matches, we go on to Brinley Reese versus Izzy Dame. Now, this kind of spills over from last week where Izzy Dame came into Idris and Malik's locker room while Brinley was there and says, you know, I'll say what they don't want to say. And what they want to say is, we don't really want you around, Brinley. And this obviously caused a problem between Brinley and Izzy, which sets up this match this week. Not really much to say about this match, to be quite honest with you. Izzy Dame puts on quite a dominant performance in this match. She really brings it to Brinley Reese and picks up the victory. Like I said, not really much to say. Later on in the night, Brinley Reese is a bit disappointed and says, guys, listen, if you really just don't want me around, just tell me. I'm going to go work out. If you want to come with me, then, you know, come. If you don't, you know, don't. It looks like one of them is still on board with Brinley. The other one is not. I can't remember which one is the other. I always forget. I always get them confused, like the names. I know they're nothing alike. It's just I can't remember which one's Idris and which one's Malik, to be honest with you. But I don't really know where this is going. I don't really know what this does for Brinley. Don't really know what this does for Idris and Malik. I really think they're a great tag team. I think they should be given a little bit of push in NXT. They've been there for long enough, and they're a great tag team. As for Brinley, she probably could be doing better things, but the whole gimmick that she's got, I'm not really into, to be quite honest with you. So, you know, it is what it is. During this match, by the way, Tatum Paxley makes herself known. As Izzy gets the win, she is quick to get out the ring because Tatum Paxley slithers in the ring for some reason. Not really sure why she's there, because there's no championships, and I thought she was all about championships. But, you know, again, it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Like, Tatum Paxley is doing some great work. That was a kind of a nothing burger match, and I don't know why she would be targeting any of those two people. So, yeah, moving on. We go backstage for a Chase U segment where Duke Hudson finally admits to the class that they cheated to get the #1 contendership for the NXT Tag Team Championship. She shows evidence that Ridge Holland helped them cheat. Andre Chase says, why did you do this, Ridge? Riley isn't surprised. Thea Haley's like, how could you? And Ridge Holland says, listen, I just got overwhelmed when you gave me that Chase U vest. You know, now that I'm in the university, I don't just want to be here. I want to be part of the family, and that's what I was trying to do, was try to help out the family. That's why I pushed you, Riley, out of the way last week, to get that victory. He's very disappointed in himself. Andre Chase kind of understands. He says, listen, no one here is not without mistakes, and that includes me. But at NXT Heatwave, I'm going to need you to stay behind while we all go. And Ridge looks to understand this. So I kind of feel sorry for Ridge here. They helped him get the the number one contendership. Yes, he cheated, but who cares? Apparently Chase you care, because they're all about integrity. But yeah, I don't know. I quite like this whole dynamic. I'm not gonna lie. At the moment with Ridge Holland being in Chase U, but I think it was a bit harsh making him stay back for Heatwave. Maybe he's still gonna go. I don't know. We now go into the ring where we get an amazing segment. This is probably the segment of the night. Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez. What an absolutely amazing promo battle between these two it was. Now, it starts off quite emotional, to be honest with you. Lola Vice admits that, she knows Roxanne's story and she respects it. 6 hours to get to the performance centers that she used to train at. So she understands it, but they don't know her story. And Lola Vice goes on to tell her story. She was training for the Olympics when a family needed her the most. Her mum got sick, so she had to quit training for the Olympics and join MMA to provide for her family. And when she was 20 years old, she was already performing in Madison Square Garden for Bellator. And she gets very, very emotional here. And even Roxanne acknowledges that, that she didn't know that about her story. She respects it, but unfortunately, she's not going to win the championship at Heatwave. Lola Vice goes on to say, I can't wait to call my mother and say, I finally did it. I won it for my family, my brothers, and you. Roxanne Perez says, again, I respect that. But unfortunately, Lola, it's not going to happen. Because when you step in the ring with Roxanne Perez, ask Lyra Valkyria, ask Jordan Grace, ask Tatum Paxley. When they step in the ring with Roxanne Perez, they all want to make that phone call. But it doesn't ever happen. She also gives Lola Vice credit for making her the person who she is today. Like when Lola Vice cast in her breakout tournament contract to make that a triple threat, it feels like months ago now. It's the reason why Roxanne Perez wasn't champion according to her. So she thanks her for making her the person who she is, which is quite a cool way to look at it. To be fair, I actually enjoyed the fact that Roxanne Perez kind of twisted it and made it that. Towards the end, Lola Vice black masses one of the security guards that Roxanne Perez has come out with her and says basically, see you at Heatwave. I can't wait for this match. This segment was unbelievable. Definitely the best segment of the night. One of the best promo battles of the year, and I'm talking on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I thought both women did absolutely amazing. I am looking forward to this match. Fair play to Roxanne Perez. Like I said, I am one of her biggest critics, but I can't criticize her in this moment. What do we have next? We have got Aura Menta taking on Miles Bourne. Now, before this match, Damon Kemp tries to give Miles Bourne a set of brass knucks. And he's training and he's speaking to him. And Damon Kemp obviously has an agenda to try and get back in the good books of the NQCC. Charlie Dempsey sees that he's trying to give him some brass knucks backstage, and he says, no, don't listen to him, Miles. Miles. And obviously he's deaf, so he doesn't even understand what's going on. So he taps Miles, and Miles turns around and goes, what's going on? Did I miss something? And Charlie just goes, don't worry about it. So we get to the match, and everything's going quite well for Miles. A beautiful dropkick that he hits, by the way, onto Aura Menta. But it gets to the point where Damon Kemp is trying to get his attention on the outside, trying to give him these brass knuckles. It ends up distracting Miles, and Aura Menta is able to capitalise and get the 1-2-3 onto Miles. Charlie Dempsey is absolutely fuming. Damon Kemp, obviously, is still in the bad books with the rest of the NQCC. Like I said, short but sweet match. Good quality match. Aura Menta looks at the camera after this and says, Ethan Page, after Heatwave, I'm still coming for you. Don't you forget about that. Remember, because Ethan Page stuck out Noam Dar all those weeks ago before we even knew it was Ethan Page attacking people backstage. So that's going to be interesting to see where that storyline goes, because I want to see a conclusion to it. I want to see Aura Menta get some, revenge on Ethan Page eventually. Is this going to lead Ethan Page versus maybe Noam Dar for NXT Championship if he wins on Sunday? Only Time will tell. Let's go on to the next match. Like I say, it's a very heavy match show this week. We get Wendy Choo taking on Carly Bright, trying to get revenge for her friend last week. Not much to say about this match, to be honest with you. Wendy Choo dominates this match for the whole time. Like, literally, I think Carly Bright gets in maybe 3 moves. Wendy Choo just absolutely destroys Carly here. Gets her in the sleeper hold, the nap time sleeper hold thing that she does. Taps her out. Yeah, Wendy Choo. I love the whole thing that's going on with Wendy Choo at the moment. I love the presentation that we're getting from Wendy Choo. I love this new character change. I thought it was really, really cool. Just after this match, by the way, I didn't really put it in the notes, but I might as well mention it now. Apparently, Eddie Thorpe is a part-time DJ. Lexis King has a problem with this. Like I said, just a nothing segment. Eddie Thorpe is showing off like his DJ skills and what he did on the weekend, asking if anyone else wants to come see him. Lexis King says, there's only one type of music that really makes sense, a bit of White Snake, a bit of Led Zeppelin, the guitar solos. That's what the women like. That's what the people like. And Eddie Thorpe's like, nah, EDM, bro. For once, I'm going to agree with Lexis King. I don't like EDM. I don't like that kind of DJ sets. Fair play to Eddie for doing that. But for once, I can't believe him saying this, Lexis King is correct. What has the world come to? Speaking of what has the world come to, what the hell is going on with Brooks Jensen? Well, we're going to get some answers, apparently, from Shawn Michaels. He says that Brooks Jensen has been putting all over social media that his contract has been terminated, that he no longer works for WWE, that he's no longer a superstar under the NXT brand. All of this is not true. It seems that after he broke up with, the whole tag team that he had with Fallon Henley and Josh Briggs, that he kind of started to go under like some kind of obsession with people being against him. You should see all of his videos from social medias. He's been trying to get into shows. We've been having to kick him out all the time. Basically saying we're trying to give him the help that he needs. Next week is he inviting Brooks Jensen to speak to Ava to discuss the future of him in NXT. It would be easier to fire Brooks Jensen, but we're not like that. NXT is a family, and Shawn Michaels always believes in second chances. I like this because this kind of relates to Shawn Michaels himself. Like, he was given a second chance when he became a born-again Christian. He was a bit of an arsehole in the 90s in WWE, so he was given a second chance as opposed by WWE. So, I mean, yeah, art imitating real life, I suppose. Now we go on to the final match of the night. We're getting Jasmine Nix versus Carmen Petrovic. Like I said, we was talking about this earlier on, where Carmen has had a problem with Jasmine and JC because they were talking all that crap to her in the locker room. This is a solid match, to be fair, between these two. The solid workers. Carmen is great in that ring. She's been hanging around with Natalya a lot, so I can't really be surprised that she's decent in the ring. And Jasmine Nix is just like a natural athlete in there. She is really, really good. She's taken to this business very well. Jasmine Nix really impresses me. I expect nothing more than solid work from her every single week. And that is what we get from her. And we also get a win for Jasmine Nix this week when she manages to hit the Pele kick on Carmen Petrovic, obviously after JC Jane getting involved, having a bit of a say, distracting her from the outside. Jasmine Nix with the 1, 2, 3. After this, Carmen Petrovic goes to Ava Rain's locker room or office and says, listen, I want them to at HEATWAVE. I want something to happen. And Ava says, not to worry, your friend already came in here and requested a tag team match at HEATWAVE, so that's what you're going to be getting. You and your friend versus Jasmine Nix and JC Jane. And obviously Carmen's confused, like, my friend? What friend? Like, Natalya? Is Natalya back? Where's Natalya? And Ava says, it's not Natalya. And Ariana Grace comes in and says, that's right, bestie, it's going to be amazing. 2 Canadians handling business together. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So Ariana Grace managed to get herself on the card for HEATWAVE, so she's absolutely excited. Carmen's all confused, but it's probably going to be a good tag team match, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. We now go on to the main event segment. We get in the Fatal 4-Way contract signing. We got Sean Spears, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, and Trick Williams making his way down to the ring with the NXT Championship in the middle of all of them. Ethan Page is the first one to say that, he is here to basically dominate. I mean, Sean Spears is, you know, I respect Sean Spears' opinions, what you know, what he was saying in his video packages earlier on tonight. But this isn't like what happened last time we faced. This isn't a singles match. This is a fatal 4-way match. I don't have to pin you to win that NXT championship, even though I could. Even though I could pin you to win that championship, I don't have to. I could pin Javon Evans or I could pin Sean Spears. Sean Spears turns around and says, obviously, he respects Ethan Page. He then starts going on at Javon Evans saying, you know, you're just a young kid in this business, but, you know, you should be proud of yourself. Like, you know, I saw your video package. I'm just going off what you said because Javon Evans obviously has a problem with this whole age thing. Like, of course you would. Every young person has this problem when an older person turns around and starts saying, you know, you're inexperienced because your age, this, that, and the other. I think we've all experienced that if you have been at that age where you try to prove yourself in any kind of industry. Sean Spears says, obviously, he's here for your first ever main event pay-per-view. You basically try to patronise him, like bring him down. There's a lot of people talking nonsense, to be fair, in this segment. I'm not going to lie. Everyone is trying to get himself over, obviously. Javon Evans is like, you know, he's the young OG. He's going to show that he's bouncy. He's sick of everyone calling him a punk, a young kid. He's going to take care of business at NXT HEATWAVE, and he respects Trick Williams, but he's coming after the NXT Championship. He has earned his spot. Trick Williams, both Ethan Page and Sean Spears kind of try and sow the seeds between Javon Evans and Trick Williams, saying, you know, we're the only ones who have beat Javon Evans in this ring. We've both beat him. You haven't. We've been in the ring with you, Trick. And to be honest, I don't like your odds. We think that Javon Evans could beat you. Obviously, Trick Williams isn't taking the bait. He says, you know, big respects to the young OG, but none of y'all can take the NXT Championship away from me. And obviously this eventually just turns into a brawl, to be honest with you. Sean Spears starts beating on Javon Evans. Ethan Page starts beating on Trick Williams. Both Sean Spears and Ethan Page get put through the table, and then the contract is signed. And that's how we finish NXT, heading into HEATWAVE. What did you guys think of NXT this week? Did you think it was an enjoyable show? Did you enjoy all the matches this week? I certainly did. I really thought it was a change, like I said, from all the backstage segments. We had a couple, but we had a lot of matches as well. So it didn't just balance out. There was more matches than backstage segments, which, again, I really enjoyed. It was a nice little change for NXT this week. I'm looking forward to NXT HEATWAVE on Sunday. Are you guys going to be watching it live? Make sure you let me know in the comments what you think is going to be the match of the night. We've got the NXT Tag Team Championship match. We have got Nathan Fraser and Axiom taking on Chase U. Obviously, Nathan Fraser is very distracted lately because he's got a speed match. Axiom is getting very frustrated with his tag team partner. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be turning out. We have got the NXT North American Championship match. We have got Oba Femi taking on Wesley, trying to regain his North American Championship. Is the greatest North American champion of all time going to become the champion once again? You can only find that out on Sunday. We have got the NXT Women's North American Championship match. We have got the champion Kalani Jordan in one of her first defenses taking on the Soul Snatcher herself, Sol Ruka, which in my opinion could steal the show. That could be match of the night. We have got the tag team match of Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace taking on the team of Jasmine Nix and JC Jane, obviously added tonight. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We have the NXT Women's Championship match. We have got Roxanne Perez, the champion, taking on Latina Heat, Lola Vice. After that segment this week, I'm very excited to see what them two can put together. That's going to be really interesting. And then finally, in the main event, the NXT Championship match. The champion Trick Williams taking on the young OG Javon Evans, Sean Spears, and All Ego himself, Ethan Page. Who's coming out on top? Let me know in the comments who you think that's going to be. Guys, like I said, make sure you like this video to let us know if, you know, you're enjoying the content that we're putting out. Go check out Courtney's amazing review of Monday Night Raw from yesterday. Stay tuned for the podcast tomorrow for Money in the Bank predictions, and on Saturday morning for the SmackDown review, followed by some content probably coming from Money in the Bank itself. If you want to go follow us, guys, all of our individual plugs will be in the description down below. You can follow Outcasted OC on X/Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok for exclusive content there and clips from the podcast. But for now, guys, I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed NXT. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out.